This is questions 30 and 32 from exercise 1.1 in Project Maths 3A. We have to evaluate each of the expressions in the questions for the given values of the variables. So for question 30, which is where we're going to start, we're given the expression p squared plus 4q all over 2 brackets q plus 1 close bracket. And we have to evaluate that expression when p is equal to minus 2 and q is equal to 3. What that's going to mean is that we're going to rewrite the expression, and every time there's a p, instead we're going to put in a minus 2, and every time there's a q, instead we're going to put in a 3. So let's take a look at that. So for the top of this fraction we have p squared plus 4q. So instead of p squared, we're going to put minus 2 in brackets, and that's going to be squared. And instead of 4q, we're going to have 4 bracket 3, because we're replacing q with 3. And on the bottom of the fraction, we have 2 bracket q plus 1, so our 2 won't change. But instead of q, now we're going to put in 3, and we still have our plus 1. Now we have to remember our order of operations when we're going through this. So the first letter of that is b, which stands for brackets, so we do the sum inside the brackets. So for the next bit down, we're going to have, on the bottom, we're going to have 2 bracket, and 3 plus 1 is 4. And then the next letter in PEMDAS, which is our order of operations, is e, and it stands for exponential, which means our indices here. So we've got minus 2 squared, which is 4. And then we still have our 4 times 3, just there. And now after exponentials, we do our multiplication. So our multiplication in this sum, our 4 won't change, but on the top we have 4 times 3, which is 12. And on the bottom we have 2 times 4, which is 8. And from here, we're going to do the sum on the top, so 4 plus 12 is 16. And on the bottom, we still have our 8. And 16 over 8 means 16 divided by 8, so that's just equal to 2. So our answer for 30, when p is equal to minus 2 and q is equal to 3, we get 2. So let's take a look at question 32. For question 32, we have 3x squared minus 11 all to the power of a half. So, and we are evaluating that when x equals 5. We'll worry about the power of a half in a bit, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to substitute in our value for x. So we're going to have 3 bracket 5 squared minus 11 all to the power of a half. And again, our order of operations are going to matter, which is PEMDAS, and the first letter of that is b, which stands for brackets, so we're just going to do all the sums inside the brackets. And inside the bracket, the first thing we got to look at is our exponential, because we have a little order of operations we've got to choose inside here as well. So we can't multiply 3 by 5 and then square that. That won't get us the right answer. We're going to have to square 5 and then multiply it by 3. But we'll do this step by step. So we're going to have 3 times 5 squared, which is 25. Still minus 11. All to the power of a half. Then after that, we can now do our multiplication. So 3 times 25 is 75. And that's 75 minus 11, all to the half. 75 minus 11 is 64. And that's the power of a half. The power of a half is the same as saying the square root of. So what we actually have here is, instead of 64 to the power of a half, we're being asked what the square root of 64 is. And that's just equal to 8. And that is that.